Kundalini. And it's very much also, if you've had that experience, it's very much like a sexual orgasm, only it has quite a different feel. It's a longer wavelength, and it moves up in like a snake, moving up the spine in a very similar way that the sexual energy does, but it has a different purpose. It isn't for creating and for making babies or planets, but it's for awakening spirit. And once anyone has had a Kundalini experience, they kind of have there's nothing they can do but to seek God. That's what it does. It turns you on to spirituality, and you begin to search because you have felt that experience. And once you've felt the presence of the source of life, there's nothing you can do but to continue in that way. There's a third channel, and that third channel is connected to the heart. And when you are in the tiny space of your heart and you start living there longer and longer, staying more time in that space, eventually what happens is these two terrestrial fields that I was speaking about, they realign from the heart space to the same the axis of the spine, and they link with the Merkaba, or the light body. They phase lock with it. And when that happens, there is an orgasm which I call a heart orgasm, which comes on. And when it does, it's much stronger than anything that I've ever felt with Kundalini, and it's probably 20 or 30 times stronger than a sexual orgasm. It lasts about 15 to 20 minutes. And it is very powerful. And I think it only happens once in your life, but I might be wrong. And when that happens, you are then forever, continuously in your heart space all the time. You never leave it. Even though you can migrate your consciousness up and connect it through the tongue and up in this whole way to your brain so that you could see through your eyes and look at daily consciousness. In fact, right now, even though I'm walking around in my little room here, my spirit is sitting cross-legged in sand in this little place inside of my heart. And there are two other channels, but they're for the future. We're not in any kind of position to be able to experience those right now at all. And so for anyone who is in their heart and studying that, if that ever does happen to you, just relax behind it. Don't get worried. I mean, I actually thought I was dying or something, because a white light appears and you can't see. You become blind only with white light for about 15 or 20 minutes, and it just seems like it's never going to end. But it's just an experience. It's an ancient experience, and it's okay. It's just the way it is. So I don't know where to go from here on that.
Well, it definitely sounds like I have a lot to look forward to. I did want to really quick get to the caller who's actually been waiting for about 20 minutes or so. I just want to see if they have a question here, since they've been so patient.
Okay.
Okay, caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, hello, I'm Drunvalo from the Netherlands.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Well, first of all, I would like to thank Drunvalo for all the work that he has done. I really appreciate it very much, and I know it's fabulous what you do. And I had a question about Merkaba meditation, which I learned about 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
I just thought maybe you could tell a bit about the importance of it. And also, when I learned it, my teacher was very cautious. And also, she took a long time to prepare us for the meditation, like 1.5 years or so, to give us a good basis. And I think that was very good of her to do it that way. But I just wonder, because times are changing, whether people can learn it more quicker now without
learn it very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I often had questions of people. Okay, you learned the meditation. Can you quickly tell us how to do it? And I said, well, it's better you go to someone who is an official trainer for that. But maybe you can tell something about it.
Okay. The Merkaba is the human light that is generated by the body itself. It is actually generated by the brain. And it's a counter-rotating field where one part of the energy is spinning to the left, counterclockwise around you, and the other part is spinning clockwise around you. And usually at very specific ratios, whole number ratios. And they're always, and literally always, Fibonacci numbers, Fibonacci sequence numbers, which is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, etc. And as always, numbers that are connected together. In this case, because the Earth is a tetrahedral Merkaba, that's what she has rotating around her, and hers is rotating at 3421, meaning the male goes around 34 times and the female goes around 21 times. That is the one that we have also are activating, because it's to put ourselves in tune with the Earth herself. It's also the sun and the planets. Same thing. Our whole solar system is on this Merkaba field. And I'll tell you something. We started out, it was in 1980 that the Ascended Masters decided to give the information of ascension, the whole package of it, which is not just the Merkaba, but much more. And when they did, we discovered that it wasn't working because it had always worked before, and it was not working here because the Earth had become so male. We're so technologically driven. We're so logical, so male, and our female side is just practically non-existent. And so when, in the old way, we did the Merkaba was the very, very last thing that was talked about, and we started with the first thing. How originally was done was moving people into their heart space, first into the sacred space of the heart, and then into the tiny space, and getting people used to living there. And then from there, they went through their tongue to the roof of their mouth to the thalamus gland, and there's a whole series of mappings inside the head that would open the third eye. And then from there, when they did this just right, when everything was functioning, a halo would appear around their head, and at that moment, they could breathe in a certain way, and the Merkaba would just pop out automatically, simply, easily, without having to do any complex breathing or anything. But it didn't work because when they did it for almost 4 years, and no males would show up. It was only females. They'd have 100 people in the room, and 99 of them would be female, and one would be male back in the corner, probably chewing his fingernails or something. And it just wasn't working because we have to have both the male and the female, but only the females were appearing. It was because when you start with the heart, you have to begin to understand and know the subtle energies. But the males didn't believe in the subtle energies. They thought that was just all airy-fairy stuff and wasn't real. They had no idea it was the most powerful forces in the universe, but they couldn't understand that, so they didn't come. And so the Ascended Masters came to me and asked me if I would begin to introduce the Merkaba first, which is backwards. I mean, even the Tibetans don't talk about the Merkaba till 14 lifetimes. And so it's always the last thing talked about. But they introduced the Merkaba first because that was what it's logical, it's geometrical, it's the kinds of things that a male would be interested in, and it worked. Almost immediately, the workshops came out about 60% male, 40%, 60% female, and about 40% male. And so we began to present just the Merkaba in the stages, and it began to attract both sides of the coin. But over time, we began to initiate all the rest of this information. The Merkaba by itself is not fully functioning. It's only functioning on a very simple level. It is not enough to be able to ascend with. You know a lot more information and have a lot more things connected up within your body and around your body than just the Merkaba. And so that information slowly began to develop until this year, until 2011. And we just did the last workshop on the old way, which we've just put into a movie and is going to be released in about another 2 weeks. Anyone who has just been studying the Merkaba, like you have, this will give you all the information you need to know in order to proceed. But we have now come out, the Ascended Masters have allowed us to make the change because the Earth has changed. The people on the Earth has changed in the last 20 years. The males have adapted into the female energy much higher now and are able to understand subtle energies. And so we can now give the workshop the way it was originally given, which is beginning with the heart and ending with the Merkaba. And we just started that workshop only just a few months ago. It's called Awakening the Illuminated Heart. And it's so much simpler. The old way was very complicated, and we couldn't get very many people to actually do it. It was about 30% of the people, maybe a high of 40% were able to do it. And most of them couldn't do it because of the complexity. But in this one, I'm really excited because we've just done maybe the first few hundred people, maybe 700 people that have been through this, and it's coming out close to 100%. I'm so happy. I just gave one just a few weeks ago. It was 140 people, and 134 of them were able to go through during the workshop, with only 6 having to figure it out afterwards. And it means this is going to go faster. It's going to be easier. The Merkaba pops out automatically, and when it does come out, it is permanent immediately, where it took about 2 years doing the old way to do that, to make it permanent. So this is a great blessing. It's working perfectly, and I'm very, very happy about all of this. But for you, it's all available to you. You just go on Drunvalo.net and you can achieve everything that you're trying to achieve over a longer period of time. You can achieve this in a few days. It's now as clear as it can be, I think. So
thank you so much.
I don't help you, but I hope so. Thank you. I love your country, by the way.
Okay. Well, it's not bad here.
I love it. I've been here many times. I think it's beautiful.
All right. Well, whenever you have a speech here, I would love to join.
Okay. Thank you. It was really good meeting you. Thank you.